when you were giving the girl the rose. अब ये तो गलत sound कर रहा है यार. I've been injured in love. Got my heart shattered. You say, when will you speak up? You're always quiet. You don't say anything. Are you scared? So I said, yeah, I am scared. I don't want to shy away from talking about Sushant. I will talk about Sushant for the rest of my life.
ये केस मेरा है और मैं ही सॉल्व करूंगा.
Amit, thank you so much for joining me, and cheers to that on Coffee Time with Griha. You're sitting with your cup of coffee. How's it going for you?
I mean, Breathe promotions and the release has come in a very good time, in a very good period, because we all are battling something, right? Especially the lull in life for the last 3 months. Of course, I always say we've not struggled at all. We're just bored, and we can't call boredom struggle. I mean, the world is struggling, the country is struggling, people are struggling. But I just think for me, it's just kind of jet fuel, which has kind of woken me up and has kind of given me this life force and energy, which I want to share with you and through your interview with people and viewers. So I'm just very happy. I'm happy that Breathe has come at this time.
Before we talk about you breathing life into, Kabir Sawant once again, one thing that stands out in each one of your interviews that I have watched of yours, or even while talking to you, your conversations are not peripheral, Amit. That's something that I really like, about you. You could have said anything about how you're doing, but you chose to actually measure your answer well, and it's a very, very thought-provoking reply that you've given me. And everything has actually come into you. You're talking about the troubles and turmoils of people. It could be people on the road. We have been dealing with this migrant issue. We've been dealing with so many things that have been happening. हम लोग तो भाई एक hashtag लगा देते हैं social media पे, and we just, we are done with it. We're sitting in our AC rooms, and that's just about it. But who actually goes on the ground to do things? But the fact that you're going ahead and saying it, I have seen your posts also, you've written about it. So that's something that says a lot about you as a person.
I mean, Rhea, thank you for noticing. I think if there's any good that you find in a person, it's reflective. It's something, it's a good in you which you are seeing, the good in me. But to be honest, I mean, look, there has to be a definition of struggle.
Yeah.
When I hear people, ye nahi hua, main struggling hu, my maid is, my help is out of town for 2 months and I'm struggling. I tell these people, do you really think this is struggle? I mean, can we kind of like go back to Oxford Dictionary and redefine the meaning of struggle? Or can't you see how people are struggling or what's struggling? So it kind of baffles me. But I think that's a different topic for another day.
And since we were talking about breathing life into Kabir Sawant once again, the one thing that is really stark and riveting that people noticed from the first look of Breathe 2 when it came out was the physicality. And, people are already in that mode, okay, what has happened to the character? He looks different. He is in jail. So that fascination, the build-up has already started with that very first look.
I'm glad. I'm so glad. That was our intention. That was my director, Mayank Sharma's intention. And just for like you and all the viewers who follow you and watch all your interviews, it'll take me a second and say, you know what, I worked so hard, and I'm so happy that you're liking my look and this and blah, blah, blah. There's a huge think tank that goes behind every visual of Breathe that you are seeing, from the writers, Bhivani, Arshad, Vikram, Mayank, from the creators, Vikram Malhotra from Amazon. But it's rewarding. It's so rewarding. Like everyone has put their best, and now, at least until now, everything has been perceived very well. Everything has been received very well. And it's very overwhelming. I'm very happy. I'm very satisfied. You know.
Hmm.
And yes, for Kabir Sawant again, I also have given everything to
Yeah.
it, um, wholly, wholeheartedly, and now I'm kind of lost.
You
I'm just
lost?
lost. Yeah, I'm lost because I don't know. I don't know how things will happen. Like how breathe will affect people, or how my performance and everyone's performance, and how breathe will affect people. So just like next 36 hours will be like
Hmm.
long.
Tell me something, Amit. When we speak to actors and we talk about the process of an actor, what goes behind you putting in that kind of hard work to actually approach a role or a character. What is it with you? When did you get to realize कि अच्छा मेरा ये process है? This is what I want to do. Because it was not easy, and it's not just the physicality part of it. It is everything to do with, because it's a psychological thriller by the end of it that we're talking about. It takes a lot out of a person, because actors are supposed to be sensitive people. You guys are artists. You're supposed to perceive the character the way it's written. Only then will you be able to emote it on screen. So considering
Well,
you playing, yeah.
sorry. No,
No,
please
no,
go
please.
ahead.
So yeah, so considering you're playing that, you're playing Kabir Sawant, and you're playing it with that kind of, and when I say riveting, it also says a lot about the writing. But when I also say breathing life into that writing, is that there? That's where your roles comes into play.
That's the marriage. I think that's
Yes.
the cusp. Written, directed, and then the actor is like the vessel. It's like a pyala. It's like the
Mm,
bartan,
mm,
and that comes in and just takes the form of everything. But coming back to what you started earlier, saying
yeah.
that about sensitivity,
Mm,
I think everybody should have some amount of sensitivity. You know, people who are sensitive, people who we call these terms. I'm sorry, I'm kind of digressing, but I assure you, I'll come back to the answer.
yeah.
Um, things like your sensitivity. They call you naive. They call you. It's not. It's basically childlikeness.
Mm,
So if you're not cunning, conniving, blah blah blah, and if you're not that, you're not naive. If you're not that, you're childlike. And I think it takes a lifetime. You have to be so blessed and fortunate to be childlike.
mm,
Coming back to acting, yes, as an actor, I think the more childlike you are, the more lost you will be, the more curious you will be, the more you would want to find answers. And I think I like things that are lost. I like things that are unsure.
mm,
In terms of my process, I don't want to bore you, Gray. I mean, I just think that process should be seen.
yeah.
You know, you should find my process or find questions in the performance. But that doesn't mean that I don't do anything or I don't work hard. I work very hard on my characters. I really, really put, like you said, I like putting my life into it,
Mm,
my each breath into it. I'm a huge fan of Marlon Brando,
yeah.
so I would like to share with you a part of my process is a lot of animal study,
Mm,
and I'm very, very influenced by Marlon Brando by his style of acting. And
mm,
there's one, it's a quote. I don't remember the exact words, but I read Marlon Brando used to say that be an actor, be a courageous actor, excuse me, who does more,
yeah.
digs more, wants more, researches more, and like borderline pain in the beep,
Mm-hmm.
and lives with the courage of doing more
Mm,
for the audience, for himself, for the craft, than being a lazy actor who does nothing,
mm,
you know, and just plays safe. So
mm,
that's since I've started understanding that, the understanding of that came to me. I think I've started doing a lot. I've started putting a lot, and what has encouraged me also is the fans, the viewers. Um, you know, when I talk to people, when I talk to journalists, and they say, we saw that was like that, and that seemed that, and that eyeball move, and when you look down, what were you thinking? And that has encouraged me, to be honest.
mm,
That has encouraged me that, what, there is an audience who is watching, there's an audience who is looking, and I will work hard for them,
mm.
you know. And rest, I mean, I always say I'm in a trial, so I'm just trying.
The fact that you mentioned quotes, you have a very interesting wall of quotes that you have, your life quotes, the mottos of your life. I like to believe that you believe in. Very recently, you just put out a post also where you say, where you obviously quoted Meryl Streep, and you say that you like to observe people. That's something which is also there on your wall, if I have noticed correctly. Where are these things coming from? I mean, how did you
Oh,
actually decide
where
that
did
you
you
have?
see it? Yes, it's there. It's called, I have a thing, I'll show it to you today after the interview.
Yes.
I promise. Watch people / observe.
Yes.
There's another Marlon Brando line I read in one of his books. He said, when I became quiet and when I started listening,
Mm.
and after that, I started, the listening turned into observing.
Mm.
My life as a human being and my life as an artist changed. I think that somewhere has happened to me as well. I think I was just a ball of, like, I was just a goofball. You know, that crazy ball that when you bounce, it bounces
Yeah.
back harder.
Yeah.
I like that. I think watching people, observation, listening. I think these are really great tools. Forget about acting, just in terms of humanity.
Hmm.
You know, as a human being, as a person, if you listen to each other, understand each other, allocate like more patience,
Hmm.
and more compassion to actually listen, it just makes you more aware
Hmm.
of the good and the bad.
Hmm.
So for me, I would definitely say the process is starting somewhere, has started.
Hmm.
What it is doing to me, I think it's making me connect better without trying, feel more without kind of, compressing anything, be more vocal,
Hmm.
trusting more to my instincts, to my inner voice, both as a human being and on the set and in between action and cut. For that, also, there's another thing I want to tell you in Breathe, which I really love, is the ownership they give me.
Hmm.
Everybody, Vikram sir, my producer, and Mayank. I'm like a fearless kid on that set because I know if I give a silly shot, if I do something stupid, they won't judge me.
Hmm.
And that allows me to be a fearless Kabir Sawant.
Hmm.
That allows me to try. So yeah, I mean, so there's like this is like a method to the madness and the madness to the method.
When you started out, let's talk about Kai Poche. You have spoken about how anxious you were to be seen. I would just like to simply put it, to be seen. Whether you're appreciated, that comes later. Dikhenge to appreciation bhi aayega. That kind
Yeah,
of space you were at.
yeah.
From then to now, how do you perceive of that changing?
I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I really don't know, but I can say that I've had a lot of healing
Hmm.
through work,
Hmm.
through appreciation, through the good people who have supported me in this industry and have been nice to me. You know,
Hmm.
and my biggest validation comes from my fans. And I don't like saying fans because one thing I just understood a couple of months back, that everybody is not our fan.
Hmm.
As an artist or as actors, you start thinking that the whole world is your fan. But
Hmm.
there's a huge chunk which is a well-wisher. There's a huge chunk who is just an audience. There's a huge chunk of people who just watch your film and observe you, and few of them, when they connect with you, they turn into fans.
Right.
So now, because I've started understanding that, I correct myself, because you just can't say everybody's your fan, because everybody's not your fan.
Hmm.
But I do get a lot of validation from people, from the audiences,
Hmm.
and that means the world to me, because they don't lie, they don't filter. I want to tell you this: I've never told anyone the kind of bond I have, especially on my Instagram. If you take my phone, I also get reprimanded by my fans and by viewers. Like a couple of years back, there's a person who just messaged me. He said, "When will you speak up? You're always quiet. You don't say anything. Are you scared?" So I said, "Yeah, I am scared. But give me time. I'll get better. So I have a beautiful bond, which
Hmm.
and there's a beautiful auto correction process, which I do. Like, there are sometimes some people who are rude, who talk
Hmm.
nonsense on my feed. I don't block them unless and until you are like obnoxious and you start abusing, then of course there's no conversation.
Mm.
But then most of the times I'll message and I'll say, okay, I respect your point of view. This is my point of view. Sometimes they say sorry. Sometimes there's no need for any sorry. There's just different opinions. And for me, like when I started acting, I wanted to win an Oscar. I wanted to be the best. Now that I'm kind of seeing all this, this is what I want. This is life. This connect, this bond, and I respect it. I cherish it, and it's my life force. I call it my jet fuel.
Right.
Yeah.
And your audience are your reality check. Is that what you're saying? I mean, they give you that reality check from time to time, and you take that wholeheartedly.
Yes, and they do it very gracefully.
Yes.
I've been very lucky. I've never been trolled. I've never been, there are always one or two, four, five over smart, funny people who also I think must, I don't know. I mean, I think one should be given benefit of doubt, but I like the ecosystem I have with people, and I like the way it is developing. And when I started acting, I didn't know this side. I didn't know that, this is what acting does. It allows you, this profession allows you to connect with people and connect with everyone, like my connection with you. We are bonding over a conversation, and words have the ability to touch each other. Yes. Words have the ability to inspire each other. So I'm kind of understanding the power of these things. And I'm giving them emphasis. I'm trying to understand more, learn how to articulate better. Because I think every word we say is inspiring or discouraging someone. So we have to be very careful. Yes, you have to be spontaneous, but we have to be very careful. So I will do mistakes. I do mistakes, but I just value this bond so much. I value this ecosystem of life through acting, through cinema, the way it affects people. I want to be conscious of it. I don't want to be a careless person,
right?
And just say anything or just do anything, So it's kind of nice. There's something.
As a whole, is a set which has too many talented people, and I'm not just talking about the ensemble actors or the cast that it has. It's the technicians, the director, the writers. But you per se, when you're emoting on screen, it's very, 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 very important for your fellow actor to actually compliment you. You have to play off your co-actor, and that's when the importance of the people who you're acting with comes in. So here you have very able actors like Abhishek, like Nitya, like Saimi, and others. What was the whole thing, and how different or similar was it from the previous time where you worked on season 1?
Griha, I have to again, I think during this interview, it might sound annoying, but I'll keep saying thank you. But I think I love the way you ask questions. I love the way you listen. And I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you so much.
Your question was pretty elaborate and it had all the answers in it. I want to add something to it.
Yes.
Like you said, like when I'm acting and so the way I want to share something with you today, the way Kabir Sawant behaves, or the way I kind of perform, it's pretty edgy, nervous energy. And if you ask me, I want to give a huge shout out to our DOP. His name is Subbu Bhardwaj. Subbu is, he was there with us in season 1. He's there in season 2. He's a big part of Breathe, and like you said, they are behind the camera, so we forget about them. But if I can tell you what the great visuals you are seeing, it's because of him. And if you're seeing my shots that are not out of focus, and how he captures me, the pain he goes through, and how over the time he has, that's his greatness. How he has kind of attached himself with my process. Because I'm very fidgety in Breathe as Kabir Sawant. It's very difficult for him, and I don't do sports. I'm in some trance, like I'm in some mood, and I'm borderline obnoxious, but it's not news obnoxious. It's the characterization which is pretty, and how he kind of takes in, and he kind of, and so I want to give a big shout out to Subbu for filming Breathe so well, and I promise him the next time we are on a set, I will be better. adding to again the same thing you said, when you stand in front of good actors, you are better.
Yes.
And the few names that you've taken, Abhishek needs no introduction, I think. And I believe he's one of the most talented actors in this country. I also want to share something that when I saw Guru, I was struggling. I had no work.
Mm.
And I remember coming home and I said, you know what? This is like, till then, I didn't know. Till then, I didn't know what I want to do or what I can do. And I said, you know what? This is acting.
Mm.
And then of course there was Yuva and like some more really, really good performances. Nitya, I've just encountered Nitya in Breathe. She's a live wire. The only time I say live wire for any actor is Al Pacino. So now you can imagine how much respect and regard I have for her as a person and for her craft. She's supremely talented, a beautiful energy to have on the set. Saimi is such a hardworking actor, and I'm enjoying her growth. I'm just enjoying how she's growing from every film, and she's supreme. She's beautiful in Breathe. And there are other actors too. There's Rishikesh who comes back. There's some surprises. What I like about Breathe is about people who come without weight. They wear their masks.
Yeah.
They put on the weight of their characters, and we perform. We perform for each other. We perform so that we can bring a good show, a good series out for people.
Wow, that's so brilliantly put. Okay, now this brings me to my coffee game, because coffee ठंडी हो जाए उसके पहले हम अपना game जरूर शुरू करेंगे. So it's called Take a Sip, my version of Never Have I Ever. I want you to take a sip at the situations that I'd be presenting before you. You will, if at all you have done it, you'll tell me the story behind it. Choti si kahani. Okay. I'll not just let you go with taking just a sip and not telling me anything. So that's how it goes. Okay? Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Take a sip if you've got your love for dogs from your father.
I've got a lot of things, a lot of great things, good things from my father. And definitely, I think the love for these four-legged, beautiful creatures is definitely from my dad. And I think, when they say when you're born, you say mom, dad, or ma, pa. I think the second thing I might have done is I would have definitely had some like puppies around playing with them.
And the way you say that, you like studying animals, and it's very, very important because, that also is an association with sensitivity that we were talking about, that comes the process of not just acting, but just being human.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, there was a joke when I'm filming for Kabir Sawant, for Breathe, and in my home, like I'm very close to my team. We're like a family, and they like say they start calling me that now you've become a Rottweiler. So now, which are beautiful. You have to understand, and they are a beautiful dog. They're a beautiful breed. But just they are, they are what they are.
Okay, take a sip if you have written love letters in school to a fellow student or teachers.
No, teacher. I remember her name also. Her name was Miss McGrath, section. I think I was in grade 3. And then they changed my section.
What did you write as a 3-year-old? I mean, in class 3, not 3-year-old, I'm sorry.
I don't remember. But I definitely remember that I was sulking that she's not talking to me. And I remember that she gave some chocolates to someone. And I was pretty pissed. And the next time I hit that guy, I fought with him.
Okay. Okay.
You can definitely see what a troubled childhood I've had.
Okay. Have you ever danced in a movie theater? Take a sip if you have danced in a movie theater. You haven't?
No.
A movie's
do you do that? Like you go and dance in a movie theater?
I've asked a couple of people that, and they say yes, they have.
Well, I salute their courage.
Okay. Take a sip if you've ever regretted a trekking excursion or expedition that you were part
of. Yes, I love trekking. It used to be my job before I came to Mumbai, to become an actor. I still do a lot of trek, but not as a job. When I was younger, my patience levels were very low. And just once, I think there was this family with 5-6 people, and they were making so much noise in the forest. And I kind of warned them, and they were like shouting and like really disturbing the atmosphere. And because I know the way, especially in Kumaon Himalayas and stuff, I know it. Like I'm pretty well versed with the landscape and the directions there. So yeah, I got them back in 2.5 days. They were very pissed. I told the person, my boss, that you know what, don't give me such people again. You know, so yeah.
The way you say my patience level when I was young was very low. I have actually, sort of vaguely studied you as, in the various phases of your acting. Earlier you had so much of anger in you. Then the exuberance bit came in. And now you are this calm self who's talking to me. These various phases, how much of the roles that you were, doing at that point in time were responsible in these phases that you were in? Because in your own words, you've said that acting is your counselor, is your psychiatrist. So
I have a better one. It's my vessel. Yeah,
yeah.
but that's not my line. That's Johnny Depp's line. So can't cheat. This is the time I think I say thank you again. Thank you for observing. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for keeping me or making me relevant. And I'm glad. I think that's the natural progression. You should have a progression like that. And I'm at great peace. Have I learned from these times? Yes. Does that make me more compassionate? Yes. Does that make me understand what empathy is? Yes. And these are great things to happen to an artist. Definitely. Definitely. These things should happen to everyone, but mostly for an artist. Right. And I'm glad these things have happened to me. And yeah, I'm not angry. I don't think so. I have anger in me anymore.
Okay.
I think I got tired of anger.
Okay. Again, this is taking a cue from Angry. Take a sip if you've ever gotten into a physical fight.
I'll have to have like 10 cups of coffee. Not anymore. I don't believe in violence anymore. But when I was young, I see. Look, I went to. It's an excuse, but I went to to a boarding school called Lamatnia in Lucknow.
Yes.
When I was in Lucknow, we survived. We survived on fights. And then you grow up, you realize you don't need to fight. You don't need to fight. You don't need to fight physically. You need to fight with ideology, with principles, with words, but not physically.
So what is it with Matnia boys? So I have this very good friend of mine who's also from Matnia, Lucknow, and I was just telling him that ऐसा कुछ है क्या? मतलब सिर्फ गुंडागर्दी के बगैर काम नहीं होता यूपी के colleges में. So he's like, that's what Lamatnia.
No, so okay. I'll please stand corrected. Lamatnia, I will say one thing: we are not gundas or loafers. We stand and fight for the good.
Yeah.
Like in my school, when I fought, there were some people who came to beat some teacher.
Okay. Oh.
We stood for that. So in Lamatnia, we hit people when you tease a girl.
Okay.
We used to beat people when one of our friends' sisters were kind of teased, or what I mean. We took the law in our hand. Is that right, wrong? I don't know, but we were young. Yeah. But I'm sorry, in Lamatnia, we don't just go and beat weak people. We used to stand up for a cause. We always like.
Okay.
So.
Okay. The mean streak for a cause, but for a cause. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Take a sip. If you've ever gotten injured trying to impress or woo a girl.
Injured to woo a girl? Why? I mean, are you supposed to get injured by wooing a girl? Like
trying to impress someone, doing some stunt to impress
basically,
someone.
When you were giving the girl the rose, like what do you call that rose, and that thorn went.
Impress होते हैं.
ये उसके कटहल हो सकता है वो कांटा लग सकता है.
तो कांटा लगा आपको?
अब ये तो गलत साउंड कर रहा है यार.
It's just a song. I was just गाना है भाई. It's such a cool song.
हाँ, cool. I've been injured.
Yeah.
In love. Got my heart shattered, but I didn't get injured in wooing anyone. I think.
Thank God for that then.
Thank God.
All right. Okay. Take a sip. if you have ever liked being branded arrogant.
Yeah. My whole thing is that if you didn't understand me, and if that is what you think I am, suit yourself.
Yeah, and that's pretty much been there throughout the fact when people started recognizing, your acting prowess in the industry, or has it been there all throughout the way of your life?
So I will not be arrogant, especially in this phase of life now, that I'll say this is the way or this is my way. But there's one thing that I think is a very, very prominent thing in my personality that I don't explain. If I have hurt you and I think that I've hurt you, I will call you personally and I will make amends. But I can't explain myself to people. And I can't stop being me. So I have a certain way of talking. My humor is a little twisted like me. I say some things. But the good thing is that over the time, because I'm not changing, I'm still being the same. And and this is for everybody, anybody, once you connect with somebody's heart and soul, and you realize and you figure and you stamp that this person is fundamentally good, then फिर सब माफ है. But I can't explain to people. Like, if you find me arrogant, cool. Yeah. Does that make you happy? Like, it doesn't bother me, man.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't have time to think in life. I have better things to do. I don't have time to think whether am I arrogant, am I this? I got to do. We've got one life. I have to do so much. So it does come from a process. I know this even sounds a little cocky. It sounds a little arrogant, but
no, why? That's the way of being for someone, and it can be true. I'm living with a person whose method to life is pretty similar. So yeah. All right. This is the final one. Take a sip. If many people still don't know that you did Fook 2 and Maximum before you did Kai Poche.
And there's a joke because you want a story in everything. There's a joke that I used to say that in Fook 2 I was cheek 1 because I was so small, and in Maximum I was minimum.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But Amit, you've been so candid about even life after Kai Poche. You have gone on record to say that you did not get work. People might have appreciated your work, but they did not really come to you with a script, let's say, to be casting you in a film or a show. That didn't happen after Kai Poche.
Yeah, but Griha, when I'm forthcoming or I'm sharing my story with you, I'm not victimizing myself. I'm not crying. I'm just sharing. I'm just telling you, yeah, this happened. Am I upset? Maybe yes, maybe no. It doesn't matter. And an actor's life is a tough life. I just hope that if there's some candle or some light at the end of the tunnel, or somewhere in between, if the lights keep coming, or some kind of inclination or indication that okay, things will get better, then you keep moving. And I've been blessed with that. I keep moving. Something keeps presenting, some role, some work has kept me pushing. So it's just that when you face hardship or any kind of dissatisfaction, that phase is kind of, at that time, it is painful. It is, but that's, I think, what I've learned, and I want to kind of share one day with people, that you got to use it. You got to use this sadness, anger, and don't just get sad. Don't just give up. Use this. These are great things. Rejection, failure, all these things are great things. So don't fight them. Embrace them. Keep them with you. It'll because every time when I'm in front of the camera, I'm hungry. I work harder because I know, what, there was 2 years I didn't have work. Now I have work. Let's work. Like even for my interviews, I give 1,000% to my interviews. Because what if there's no interview one day? So I've started valuing things, and I value them more now, because when they were not there, I know how that feels. So I think we can use and take a lot from our bad times.
Hmm. Have the memories changed of your film Kai Poche? Have they come to you more fiercely now with the loss? And you, when I say that, I also coming back to the beginning of the interview when I say that everything that you say is with so much of thought, you know, and you are still the man which has a feeling of pathos around him, and it's very, very evident. Even with the exuberance, it is evident, and you feel for things deeply. But after a loss, you know, the memories really come to you very, very fiercely. Has the memory of Kai Poche been different?
So I'll say two things.
Hmm.
One, actually, this thought came to me in the morning.
Okay.
When you ask this question, it's not that you want to shy away.
Hmm.
I don't want to shy away from talking about Sushant. I will talk about Sushant for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
It's like knowing him, working with him is one of the proud moments of my life.
Yes.
It's just that it just kind of uh, uh, takes you in a vacuum.
Hmm.
And that is what Breathe is going to be now.
Hmm.
Sorry, Kai Poche is going to be now. Forgive me.
Hmm. Hmm.
So Kai Poche till now, the memory of Kai Poche was always, like we three, and like there was always like excitement, exuberance.
Hmm.
And now, whenever I'll think about Kai Poche, there will be all this, but there will be like a big vacuum.
Hmm.
Like there'll be a big, like Hindi mein ghadda bolte hain,
Hmm.
like a big slope which will take you down.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm okay with it.
Hmm.
I will not fight that vacuum.
Hmm.
I will cherish, or I will dwell in that vacuum,
Hmm.
you know. And and I think another amazing thing about art is that it has the power. It has the power to, keep you alive.
Hmm.
Because in your art, your life exists. Your principle, your creation, your every atom, every cell, every sweat is in what you've created.
Hmm.
And that is how we will. That is how I will celebrate Sushant, his work. And remember Kai Poche, remember the times we spent.
Hmm.
You know,
So, Amit, the fact that I say that you talk about things very passionately, and this is a very, very important role, and it's a psychological thriller, Breathe. It also takes a lot from you as an actor because, you know, the process requires, you know, something. And since you are you're a person who likes to delve deeper into things. You know, I was talking about your wall. How much of this role took from your life and from the person that you are?
I think for in terms of Breathe, I will not say how much Breathe takes from me. I will say how much I'm ready to give to Breathe, because Breathe is my life force,
Mm.
and I'm ready to give everything to it. I give everything to it, and I hope I learn to give it more, to give more to my actors, to give more to my director, my DOP, my series, everybody is associated with it. So it's not about what Breathe gives me. For me, with Breathe is what I can give to Breathe,
Right.
and I can, and I yeah, I just want to give Breathe everything. It's a very, very important series to me. I'm very close to all the people who make Breathe,
Mm.
and at this point, I'm just kind of lost
Mm.
because it's going to come out tomorrow, and I hope all this conversation and all this great chat, and because this all sounds so good, I hope people can see it. That's my biggest fear, but I'm not fear in a negative way. That's my
Mm.
whole fear. Like, what I'm talking, what I'm saying,
Mm.
and the words that I'm using, are they reflecting in my work?
Mm.
Are they reflecting in my conduct? you know
Mm.
so, and it's not a negative fear, but I always have
Yeah.
that fear. So I just hope all these things that we are talking, I hope, I hope we see all these things
Yes.
in Breathe tomorrow or day after, whenever you see it.
Yes. So I want you to breathe and take it easy. Be calm. And since you promised me your wall, you just give me a tour of your wall and take me through your favorite quote before I end this interview.
All right. Okay. I will bring the camera.
Yeah, I just
And then
thought you're
if you
bringing
can
the
remove
wall
it.
to the camera. Amit?
I can't do it, but Kabir Sawant can do something like that. So, okay.
Okay.
So that's the wall.
Wow. Wow. So which one is your most favorite quote?
So there's I mean, I don't want to kind of take you through every, but the few good ones that I really believe is this. That's my two favorite actors, Al Pacino and Johnny Depp from Donnie Brasco. This you spoke
Yes.
about. That's Randy Mamoa, the first champion before Dobby and Marquez and Rossi. So he's one of the legends in MotoGP, Randy.
Yes.
This is my favorite film.
Wow.
One of my favorite actors, Russell Crowe. And I'll just show you one of my favorite quotes. This one is funny. It's Brando saying, lying for a living. That's for another compliment. This is like one of my favorite things. I think this is, if you can do this, life is good.
Respect, understand, loyalty, be concise. Wow. This is great. This is great. Thank you so much, Amit, for doing this. It was really lovely having you on Coffee Time with Griha. Thank you so much, and all the best for Breathe.
Thank you, Griha. Thank you. Lots of love. I'll see you soon.
Bye. See you.